Hello, everyone. Big shout out to the Wine Vault and Bistro in San Diego. My name's Jillian Balance. I'm a master sommelier with Stag's Leap Winery, and I want to thank you all for being here this evening to enjoy some beautiful wines with us. And also, I have to say, this menu looks incredible. What a great pairing dinner this will be for all of you this evening. Before we get into a little bit about the wines and why they're working with the dishes so beautifully, I would love to take a moment just to give you a little bit of information about the Stag's Leap Winery itself, a little bit of the history and where we're located, just to put that into context. So the history dates back to about 1893, which is pretty lengthy for Napa Valley. This is really when commercial viticulture started to take off here in California and specifically in the Napa Valley. Over to the left, you see our founder, Horace Chase, and his beautiful bride, Minnie Meisner Chase, who built the Stag's Leap Manor House, which you can see down in the middle picture there, at the Stag's Leap Estate. Now, the area itself has also become an AVA, so it can be a little confusing, but it really does harken back to a Wapo Indian legend. They roamed this area and it was a sacred hunting ground, hence the name Stag's Leap. Theory being that they would leap over the palisades that you can see in the background there to avoid being hunted. So that's why this area became known as Stag's Leap. Really incredible, beautiful history. You can see to the right, our first wine label was actually Mataro, or Mourvedre, and we had 100 acres under vine by 1895. So really incredible history that kind of established the place that we all know of as Stag's Leap. Today, the manor house has literally remained untouched. Some slight restoration took place after the earthquake of 2014, but this is actually where we get to host customers like yourselves. What a unique opportunity to step back into the late 1890s and feel what it was like to be in Napa Valley at that time growing grapes and making wine. To the left is the original Old Stone Winery, so very similar architecture. Just such a beautiful place to visit, and we encourage you all to come and do so. Our staggeringly beautiful backdrop of the Palisades. So the Napa Valley is flanked by two very significant mountain ranges, the Mayacamas to the west, and the Vaca Ranges all the way that border the valley to the east. And that's exactly where our vineyards are situated, and you can see how they kind of butt up against the hillsides there. That gives us great drainage and great exposure. All of the red that you see is the volcanic soil, so those rocky soils really are great for growing grapes and making premier wines in the Napa Valley. So quite beautiful. We have about 240 acres on the estate, and somewhere close to 85 of those are planted to grapes, primarily red grapes, because of where we're situated. All that heat and sunshine that we get in California is really good for producing great wines like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and also our unique favorite, Petite Syrah. So let's talk a little bit about the wines. I have the Viognier here, which I love. This grape variety traveled over from the Rhone Valley in France back in the 1980s, so it's a relative newcomer to California and to grape growing. But man, we've had some great results, and I think ours is very classic, very true to the varietal. It doesn't see any oak, so there's no oak influences, and we try to keep it pretty fresh, bright, expressive, with a lot of beautiful floral and stone fruit notes. Now, when you pair this with something like butternut squash soup, right, something that's sort of rich and creamy, think about that fruit being accentuated. On the other hand, because of the fruit characteristics and the lower acidity, this tends to work really well with spicy food. And I have to say, Thai red curry with seafood is one of my absolute favorite pairings with this wine. So think about how it's taming the spice, how the fruit characters of the Viognier are kind of taming that spice and really playing alongside the tamarind, the coconut, the lemongrass. What a beautiful pairing. And I just love this wine. Again, it's not oaked, so really what you should experience is a lot of fresh stone fruit, maybe some floral notes, nice long lingering finish. Viognier is pretty full-bodied naturally, so you will get a lot of creamy textures to it, and I think that this is going to pair beautifully with both of those dishes. Now moving on to our specialty, Petite Syrah. So this is one of the heritage vines of Napa Valley. It actually, before Cabernet Sauvignon and the Bordeaux family of grapes, this was actually one of the most planted varietals alongside Zinfandel. It's very deeply colored. It'll give you a lot of flavor and very easy to grow. So naturally, it was quite a darling grape variety in the late 1800s, predating a lot of viticultural studies and technology to grow different grape varieties here. So what you get from Petite Syrah as soon as you put your nose in the glass is some really beautiful dark fruits, some black pepper, some very unique spices, and kind of a savory note too, a little hint of black olive. And I think with Moroccan spiced chicken, this wine will sing alongside so beautifully and also carry you into the herb roasted leg of lamb. So Petite Syrah has some pretty significant tannins. You'll experience that because you'll get a little bit of a drying sensation when you taste the wine, but you'll also get, like I said, tons of that dark plummy fruit, black pepper, and all of those things really do play nicely with spicy dishes or even, something richer like the roasted leg of lamb. This Petite Syrah is aged for about 18 months in French and American oak. So there is also some Grenache and Mourvedre blended in. So think of it kind of like a Rhone Valley blend from the Napa Valley. And just really wonderful, great fruit, great texture, that nice tannin, which will cut through the richness of dishes, and that spiciness that really does provide a nice partner to the fennel, the olives, the spiced carrots, all of those things that are in these dishes. Really fantastic. Moving on to our wine, The Investor. This is a very unique blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Petite Syrah. It's the only one that I know of that's produced here in Napa Valley and really pays homage to our founder, Horace Chase, and to what is planted on the estate. And these are the three predominant grape varieties, Cabernet Sauvignon, Petite Syrah, and Merlot, that we plant on the Stag's Leap Winery estate. So we do a really unique blend of these three, kind of giving you the classic sensation of Cabernet Sauvignon, all that black currant and cassis fruit, a little bit of softening elements from the plumminess and distinctive characteristics of Merlot. And then that all gets backed up by the structure and the nice intensity of spice that we get from our Petite Syrah. Again, this is aged for about 20 months in a combination of French and American oak in our own caves at the estate. And it's just such a beautiful representation of, again, a unique blend of three very different grape varieties. So I think with grilled sausages, you have kind of the savoriness that will accentuate the fruit. Creamy grits has a richness to it that will play beautifully with the tannins and the texture of this wine. So you're in for a real treat. Three really fantastic wines from Napa Valley's most historic property in the Stag's Leap District, Stag's Leap Winery. I hope that you all enjoy and savor these wines. I hope you're enjoying them with loved ones. There's nothing better than delicious wines, incredible dishes to match, and great people around you. So cheers and enjoy the dinner.